does kind of look like a Coke can. So
Yeah, it does. Like just a miniature Coke can.
where did you get that? And I'm like,
I've always believed it. Like if you just a tank or just like that. Huh. I don't know. I've not.
So from this side is where you're gonna get all the mountain views.
Okay. That's my wheel.
What's on the extra part?
The steps? You don't think that'll hit?
Ron's doing the stairs.
I'm loving long distance runs and trail runs. You know, just put the wheel.
Broken back, broken arm.
Yeah.
Why not?
You do a lot of trail riding? I haven't in a long time, but I used to do it
Super easy.
Because there's a lot of trails down at the bottom.
I love it.
I want to
But I
explore.
just got out of it, you know, and I need to get back in.
There he goes. Effortless. My first time right here. Oh yeah,
Those stairs are like all over.
that was cool.
That was your first, huh?
Yeah,
All right. Oh.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't think I could do that.
Ah!
That's the first time I've done stairs that big.
I'm not going to. You can if you want.
The
I'm good.
Lynx has really, really good suspension. Here we go. Goggles on. Oh, we're going this way. Nice. I have to be careful not to bump the camera when I go underneath this. Oh, maybe I don't need to go underneath it.
I thought about it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, he fit right through the side there. See if I could do that. Put the pedals up. Yep. Good.
Don't forget your pedals, Tim. You need those. Oh shit. That's funny.
Yeah, I can never underestimate the suspension on the Lynx. When I went down those steps, it didn't even, it almost didn't feel like I was going down steps. Let's put it this way, running over small rocks has felt more rough than going down the steps. Partly because when you run a rock over, you're not expecting it. I was expecting the steps to be really, really jarring, and they're consistently smooth. Or maybe I was anticipating the predictable repetitiveness of the steps because they're kind of spaced out fairly equally. Wow. When I see that road just drop like that, I think this could drop too someday. I'm going way away from that. I'm not going near that. So that's constantly going to break away more and more over time, right? And we don't know how much time at what intervals that'll happen. I'm going to walk it. Yeah, it's a steep that's a steep hill there. You can't really stand on it, you'll slide. So if you're sliding and the wheel's sliding, you have to make sure we don't get hurt, right? It's easy to fall on that. Real easy. If the bottom of the road was more of a smooth and not like a up, I may have tried going down, but I'm not in a hurry to accelerate my skills at the risk of injury up here right now.
Through there.
I'll take it.
It does look like there's a smooth line along here, along the side. Oh, I was just talking to the camera. I was saying this looks like it might be a line right there, but it's also a risk of sliding on the...
Oh, yeah, up there.
Definitely, yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Okay. Here we go. So I'll go up in second place, and then everyone will pass me at some point, probably. Because I don't need to be riding real close to the person in front of me. And I think some people want to ride closer. This is an old road. I wonder how old. 60s, 70s? Last time in use? I don't know, I'm just guessing. Could be much long before that. The one thing I like about going on longer rides, I don't know if this is considered a long ride. This is 37 miles. To me, that's a short ride. Anything under 50 miles is, to me, is a short ride. To me, a long ride is over, I think 80 miles or longer is a long ride. And the nice thing about, I'll say, pushing the boundary of longer rides, putting the body through that experience, if I say it that way, or permitting the body to experience that, is another way to say it, is that the body adjusts and will take you to those distances. So I'm looking forward to doing more rides that are longer, so that I can bring my, I don't know if you call it endurance, up to that level. But again, I'm just standing here. That's all I'm doing, is standing. I'm not walking. Walking is harder than this in a way. Well, it's harder in a different way. Right, like I was saying, this exercises the whole body. But if I walk, that's exercising very specific muscles. But a person that can't necessarily walk very far may be able to go far in an electric unicycle, because you're using different muscles, a lot of different muscles. And we're not bending those ankle joints every single time you take a step, right? So it's a lot different, and I think this is really good for mobility, the electric unicycles. I saw a woman who may have been in her 80s or 90s, just guessing, and she was really focused on balancing the electric unicycle, and she did it. She hopped on it and went. It looked like it was the first time she was riding it, but I'm imagining she probably had ridden it many times. But I'm not recommending anyone do this in older age without the approval of doctor and physical therapists and all the professionals, because what can happen is the bones can break easier, right? So definitely consult with a plan. Have a plan ready. Maybe build up the muscles, build up the everything, build up the strength of the body. There was a man, I was talking with a woman at New Century BMW, where they sell the Zero motorcycles. They also sell a lot of other motorcycles. They had some really fast Ducatis there that were traded in. The saleswoman was telling me that she sold a motorcycle. So this is in, I think it's called New Century BMW in Alhambra. I think it's called Alhambra. Alhambra, California. The woman was saying that she sold a motorcycle to a man that was in his 90s, like 93 or older. She said she had no problem selling him a motorcycle. He was completely fit. And my thoughts are that he may have just always been fit, like from exercising, working out, and probably maybe riding motorcycles, and just never let himself go, like always maintained himself, possibly. Now I'm just guessing. I don't actually know. We wouldn't know unless we asked that person, but age is not necessarily a restriction on what can be done. It just really depends. It's really an individual basis. But my recommendation would be, if you're interested in learning an electric unicycle, to go slow with it. That's what I did, and not rush, and just dedicate time to practicing, and try to invent new ways that you haven't even seen to practice. New ways, new exercises. Like I did a lot of different exercises when I was learning. I would stop at each, like I would be in a parking lot and I would ride across the parking spaces, like So the parking spaces are going this way, and I'm riding across them. And I would ride up to a line, stop, get back on, ride to the next line, stop. And I would also go forward and backwards, so I can get used to going backwards. But I learned to ride backwards by holding onto a basket. And once I learned to do that, actually that's how I was doing the parking space exercise. I was holding a basket. I forgot about that. I was holding the basket while I was doing that exercise. And that gave me the muscle memory on using those words. I'm not sure those are the medically correct words or the physical therapy correct words or any correct words, but I'm just using those words because muscle memory is, I was thinking, I've heard these words used, and can I give myself the experience of allowing my body to sense what something would feel like, even though it's not ready to do that by itself. So I give it it's like I'm hiring an assistant, and that assistant, when I was learning, was a basket, a shopping cart. Now, people have told me that people use all kinds of things to hold on to. It could be a walker or some kind of walker or something that rolls that you could hold on to with your hands and it touches the ground. And I've also seen people use like scrub brushes, the long ones that are made for like scrubbing cement or something like that. Not sure what they're made for. Or even a broomstick, and you could probably modify it where you cut the broomstick the shape of the bottom of the pedal and you zip tie that to the bottom of each pedal, and that broomstick is going to touch the ground. The bristles, the real hard bristles, are going to touch the ground on each side. So I imagine it's going to always be touching the ground, right? To make it easiest. And that way when you roll forward, it's giving you a little bit of assistance with holding yourself up. Those bristles are helping to hold you up. Yeah, it'll wear out, but the idea is once you start doing that, you get a feel for it. The body's learning right there. That's why some people say just jump on and and don't use those aids, like the basket or something, the shopping cart, and just try to balance without it. But I couldn't. I tried that. I could not balance. It doesn't mean if I didn't keep trying I wouldn't have figured it out. It just means I thought, let me try something else. And I really accelerated my learning by doing that. And the concern people have that have said not to use a shopping cart as something to help balance, have said their concern is that we would rely on the shopping cart and not transition to letting go of the shopping cart. But myself, I knew exactly what I was doing. I said, I'm doing this just to let myself have the sensation and experience of riding. And then at the point when I let go of the shopping cart and was balancing, I held my arms out for a few days, practicing that way with my arms out. And it felt like I was going to fall any second. Felt like I was always going to fall. But I was just letting myself have the experience. And I was so happy that I was able to balance without the shopping cart. Now I was just using my arms to help me balance. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is. It's amazing to be up here on these old roads. I didn't even know these were up here. And these may have been used before highways were in place. I don't know. But they seem so narrow, right? Can you imagine two Model Ts passing each other here? I mean, I'm not sure that's what this was. This could have just been a road for, other uses. It would be nice if tomorrow's rides on Sunday, if those rides were at different times, because they're almost at the same time and I really want to do both rides. I could ask each ride well, ask one. I'd have to ask one first, and if they say no, ask the other one. But that means everyone rescheduling. But it doesn't hurt to ask, right? It's just a thought. And I also don't know if I would have enough energy to do both rides. Yeah, I don't think I would actually, because those are both really intense rides. My plan is to film the experience of whichever one I do, so hopefully I can share that experience with you. Hopefully it'll be uploaded. I'm still looking for a solution for the internet. I found a way to prioritize something specific, like on the AT&T, I think it's called My ATT. I can prioritize something specific, like if I'm doing uploads, I can prioritize my uploads for 2 hours. Instead of letting the security system take all of that speed for, well, see, he ran over a rock. And he put his arm out for balancing, to balance. It surprises me how people can lift up their electric unicycles what appears to be so easily. Because when I pull mine, it doesn't do anything. It just, I just need more practice, I think. And possibly building strength up, more strength up for that particular muscle, the one that pulls it up. And maybe confidence too, right? Which comes with experience. The gentleman in front of me, and he's the leader of this, the organizer and creator, leader of this group, of this ride, and he was saying that people tend to have two different clothing for riding their electric unicycles. One will be like a full kind of like, I'm going to use the words race gear. He didn't use those words, but it's like where you have like the full, maybe a one-piece or two-piece, like a motorcycle suit with the full gear. The other one might be more like where you just have the armor on, and there's no jacket. It's just wearing that that armor. I don't know what else to call it, but it's like a chest protector, shoulder protector, elbow pads, and you put it on, right? You put it on like a jacket, but it's breathable, and it just has like a net almost. There's like a net that goes around your arms, and it fits onto your body. And connected to that, here's a mountain bike. He waved. Connected to that is the elbow pads, the shoulder pads, maybe wrist guards. There's many different styles, types, designs. I have a built one. It's called Built. And it fits very strangely. I may want to take it to a tailor and see if he can maybe tailor it to my exact body. I don't know how to explain it. It's called a large, and then yet it feels like it's too wide on my shoulders, not by much, just a little bit, and then it feels really, really tight on my arms. Now that may be necessary because you don't want those elbow pads spinning, right? So it probably has to fit really tight on the arms. But then on the stomach part, like there's a bunch of extra there, and I'm like, this doesn't really fit me. So there's just like my body again, where it wants large on maybe the arms and parts of the shoulders, not the width of the shoulders, but like I don't know what to call it, the thickness of the shoulders. But then on the stomach area, it wants to be like a smaller medium maybe. So maybe that's something a tailor could adjust. I don't know. I'll have to see. And I may just wear it like it is. And I haven't worn that yet in off-road. Well, actually, the only reason I haven't worn it right now, because I was thinking I didn't want to get dirty. I just wanted to use it on the street riding. but I'm like, I'll just use it everywhere. But then I thought, oh, and if I'm going to use that, I need to be able to plug in my external power supply that keeps my camera running. I need to be able to plug that in. I need to have that held somewhere in some kind of bag, maybe that I wear around my waist. So I need to look into that. The camera's right there, so I'm saying hi. There's some big rocks here. I really have to watch where I'm going. Even though I don't jump up things when I see like a sudden like step up, I do lift my weight at least. I'm not trying to lift the unicycle, but I am lifting myself. And maybe the unicycle a little bit, like not in the air, but lifting it like to reduce the weight on the wheel, on the tire, so that it can more easily go up a step up. And it does make a difference. It makes it much smoother, much more smooth. It's neat to look behind me in my mirror and see 6 electric unicycles lined up. It's neat. All in line. I've noticed that how much people are committed, dedicated, and just love their electric unicycles. And I think that everyone seems to be fascinated by them when they see them. Most people, right? And many of those people will actually directly ask questions. They'll interact, right? They'll say, is that hard to ride? Wow, how do you balance? And they'll ask questions, right? You've seen that in a lot of the videos I've made where people are interacting with me in their store, or they'll at least smile. They're just like happy. I do recommend trying an electric unicycle, giving it a try, learning who teaches classes on riding. See if you can find someone to help teach you how to ride. There is someone that teaches, I heard. I don't know if it's on Mondays at like 7 or 8 a.m. I forgot what time it was at. And I forgot where it was exactly. Let me think. Where
You were stopping for a group picture.
it might be at something called the Pike in Long Beach, is it? I'm not sure, but if you ask around.
No, just making sure everybody's here.
But I would
think
say
we're almost there. It's like maybe a mile or so.
it's at the top of the parking structure, I think at the place called the Pike, if I recall correctly, but double check that. And I'm not sure if that's in Long Beach or where that is, but you can, they teach, there's someone that will teach you how to ride, or
Right on the top, if it's solid across it, it's just a back.
and I was going to go to those classes, but people were saying that I already knew how to ride. Like, you already know how to ride. So I'm just going on rides now and improving my skills at this point. But at those early stages of just learning the balance, that could be very helpful to learn from someone that knows more. in a setting where they can guide the exercises, right? But I do recommend looking into learning. And if you do it yourself, I would say, you know, like I see some people just try to jump on and balance, and then if they can't do it after a few months of doing that, they just give it away. They might put it out in the yard. I've seen people put electric unicycles in front of their house and just give them away. But what I would recommend is try holding onto a shopping cart. Try holding onto something and let yourself take that next step of letting your body feel what it feels like to actually ride it, even though you're using something to assist you, like a shopping cart or shopping basket. I was just reaching back and checking to make sure my light's still attached. I was noticing that I almost lost my brake light a few times because I had set the helmet down, which unlocked it unlocked the light, and then it was just sitting there, but it didn't fall off, which I feel like I was really lucky. So now I check the light, the brake-free light, much more often. And that's, by the way, on the thicker adapter that for the helmet, the thicker one, the thicker spacer. The thinner spacer, I think it actually locks harder. That, or I just wore out the thicker one, and it's not locking as tight. But I feel like it just the thinner one that's not very deep. I feel like that one did lock tighter. And I'm still trying to think of the cell phone locking system that locks really, really strong. Because if there was a system like that for the brake-free light, that would be great. Because that would not let it go. We're riding in a staggered formation right now, which is like how motorcycles ride, and we're taught to ride that way on motorcycles. So what that means is a person is to the right and to the left, to the right. So right, left, right, left, right. This went through a bush. That was dangerous because there could have been a rock in there. I have to pay attention to the road more. This is a really nice ride. It didn't sound like a long ride, 37 miles, but I think because it's off-road and unmaintained roads, it makes it more interesting, and it makes it seem like it's a longer ride, which I like. I like that, because if it's just flat paved street or smooth bike paths, then it just goes by really quick. So I'm still running the original tire that came with the Lynx. It's the knobby tire, the off-road tire. And I just feel like I want to use it up, use more of it before I change it. Get more experience riding and use this tire up. I don't know if it was a week or two ago, but I was going up a steep, a very, very steep incline at a bike park, and I didn't have enough speed, and when I got to the last couple inches from the top, the wheel just did a burnout, like the tire was smoking. And I was glad that I didn't have my brand new Shinko 244 on there, just, you know, shredding up that knobby, or just melting it, you know. So I approached the incline with a greater speed, and then I was able to make it up. I just had to have more speed coming into it. But because it was such a curve, like it was flat and then it curved suddenly and it was steep, I didn't want to like hit it and then like not go up, you know. But it all worked out. I lifted really hard too. When I got to that point, I lifted the wheel to the best of my ability. Look at that old railing right there. Wow, look at that. I feel like that's from the 30s. I don't know though. I don't know if it is. I do wonder what the content of the metal is. I do wonder that. Okay, let's start a new video. See you in a couple seconds. Stop recording. Stop recording. Stop recording.